How you getting up here?
I'm very well. How are you doing? You all right?
Good to see you again. We've got through another week.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, this is quite strange because this would have been the Shetland Accordion and Fiddle Festival this weekend. So it's been very, very quiet so far, if you can imagine.
But you've been on. I heard you were on the radio.
Yeah, I was on radio GD, is it?
BBC.
GH, radio at GH, Galway and Hamilton. Fantastic channel to tune into, by the way, folks. If you like Cayley music and all that, look that up. Good evening, everyone. Hope you're joining us in the show. Share the show about as much as possible. We've got two great guests for you tonight. And looking forward to it. So normally there have been a lot of late nights and playing tunes, but this year it's not been. So that's the way it goes. Is that somebody else's tie you've got?
No, it's Stuart again. I've not seen Stuart's. This is the first time I've wore his tie for weeks and weeks, and it's right on. I don't know how many seconds we're into the broadcast, and he's there. Well, good.
There we go. Murdo's confirmed that for me there. RGH. I've no idea what he's speaking about at all. Anyway, but yeah, so we were doing a wee chat about that, and it was great. Just to say, it's a bit strange there's usually so many people descending upon Shetland this weekend, like dancers and enthusiasts as well as musicians, probably over 100 musicians. So that's obviously not happening this year. So it's a big miss to the economy and everybody up here, and just the general crack. But there is still loads of bird watchers though, twitchers everywhere.
Yeah, it's famous for its birds in Shetland.
But come on. Yeah. There's a few cats. I've got a few good ones up here.
John, how you doing, John?
There's a few endangered ones. I've got slightly more endangered.
Good stuff. You had a good week though. There's Sandy.
Yeah.
Sandy. Hey Ross, you got your trousers on. There's a story behind that. We'll keep that under wraps.
Now Sandy's Duke's dad, is that right?
No.
No.
Sandy is one of the dads. He's a great friend of mine, actually, but he's one of the dads of a young guy that I'm looking to do something over Christmas time with youth. And his son's a fantastic piper, 10 years old, and he's just got into the National Youth Pipe Band's junior development band that they've got. So there's Martin again. So young Rory, who I'll take this opportunity to mention Rory Menzies. He was one of our first subscribers, and he's got his own channel. He's got his own YouTube channel well before we did, Peter. And it took me a while to subscribe. So we'll get behind him the same as he got behind us.
Yeah. Lots of folk remember and subscribe to our YouTube channel too. Yeah. It's free, and there's not much we give away free. Hello, Prakash. There's Prakash, my friend, the accordion player from India. I've been in touch with him in the last couple of days, actually. They're having a pretty tough time out there in India just now with the COVID.
Yeah, definitely.
So, hi, Carol Floss. So, anyway, right. So here we go again. Good show looming here. I'm very looking forward to this tonight. Martin's going to just open his window and listen to you live.
Yeah, Martin's here.
So,
and Peter Clark's not far away either.
Yeah. I'm going to play a wee Eva 3-step tonight to start off with.
Nice.
A lot of pipers joining in there, so I'll do a couple of pipe 6/8 marches, I think. That's what we do an Eva 3-step to. It's a wee bit like a kind of variation on a band dance and so on. So I'll give you that couple of tunes tonight, I think, to start off with.
Sounds good. I can't beat a 6/8, Peter. Take it away.
We'll see. Well, I think I'll start with Dovecote Battle on it.
Oh, they did. That's what that Duke at Park's what the Athol Highlanders march on to. That's the first tune they play marching on down Cannon Bray onto the Esplanade at Blair Castle.
That ties in just fine then. Here we go.
Perfectly. Take it away. You. Couple of great 6-8 there, Peter. A couple of great 6-8. Usually when
Dovecote Park and the McNeils are Yugadale.
Great tune.
Do you know that was the first two tunes I ever played in lockdown on the internet that started Tunes in the House thing that Martin McLeod then took on. That was the first two tunes that he sent back to me.
Yeah, and it was the 6-8s I picked on, and I'm sure it was Blue Bonnets Over the Border and something else that you played.
Yeah, that was right. Yeah, I remember playing that one as well.
And if you scroll back through the interviews that we had on YouTube or Facebook, you'll see how we got going. Now, Peter, usually on a Sunday, one of the first things that you do is ask me how my week's been and what I've been up to.
Mm-hmm.
I've not done it this week. What's wrong?
No, what have you been up to?
All right, here. Oh, what have I been up to, Peter? I've been doing a lot of decorating all week. I've got this on my music stand. Watch my decorating. Because not a lot of people know this. Watch this.
Uh-huh.
I need to go this way. I've done it the opposite. I forgot the internet's that way.
It's your birthday.
Not a lot of people know that you've got a birthday coming up soon, eh?
No, I tried to keep it quiet.
Well, it's on the internet now, so it's not quiet. I've even done it in the channel.
Do you know, for the last few... Thank you very much. That's very... Can I open the box?
Oh.
There's a box arrived here.
Oh, what's that then? What's in the box?
I don't know, but it's not ticking, so that's good.
It's the wrong one. It's the wrong one. Take the ticking one, Peter.
Okay, there we go. That's good. I'm sure this is riveting viewing for people.
I should have played a tune. It's a brown box. You got a brown box for your birthday, Peter. That's great.
Is this root? Oh boy. Ah, my goodness me. Thank you very much, Mr. McNaught.
You got bubble wrap for your birthday. That's funny.
Ah, fantastic. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, a tune called Peter Wood Wood, composed by Mr. McNaughton.
Yeah.
This is not the one you've composed for a few people and handed about, is it?
We talked about that. For the folk that don't know that gag, Peter said that he wrote over 200 tunes. And I said that I had written one tune with 200 titles, and this isn't one of them. That's can you put the title up to the camera? I don't know if you can. It's Peter Wood, but Wood spelled as in wood. And the title And the title of this tune, Peter, I'll tell you what the title is. The title is an answer to the question, who on earth would sit for 150 days and play their accordion for charity? And the answer is Peter Woodwood. And
Fantastic.
The theme over the last few weeks that we've had is kind of people celebrating 9/8s and 3/4s and how there should be more of them circulating. So I've never written a 9/8 before, and that's the first 9/8 I've written.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
No problem. Pleasure.
Superb. I've never had a 9/8 written for me.
No,
I see there's a sneaky bit at the end that goes into 6/8.
Well, that 6/8 is now the second part. I've changed it. Yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you very much, sir. Well done.
And just in the same vein that you never put 20 quid in your book, I just missed the post and never put 20 quid in that either. So.
Thank you. You know, for the last few weeks, there's been a number 5 up behind us because it was Angus, my wee boy's birthday.
That's right.
And the 5 balloon was still here till today. And I didn't realise why. And it was still floating after a month. But Karen was actually keeping it so she could use it tomorrow because I'm 51 tomorrow. And she was just going to write a 1 on the wall and have the 5.
Yeah. You don't look a minute at 51, Peter.
And do you know something? It was all going very good until Grace let go of the balloon today outside. And it was last seen going over Norway somewhere. And it was blue and sparkly. So if you see UFO spotted over Shetland, it's my balloon.
And I bet you're standing there going, look, I'm trying to keep this quiet.
I am. Thank you very much. You're going to play some tunes.
Well, I'm going to play that tune for you.
That sounds great. Love it.
I'm going to play that tune. I've only just wrote it, so there's you might get one mistake in it. But I'm gonna just to give it a bit of a key change. I'm going to play it with Donald Shaw 9/8 Kilbrandon.
Oh, great. Fantastic.
And then I'll just go back into your tune again because it sounds really good to go back into yours after that tune. So. I'm
highly honoured, sir. Thank you very much.
Well, I'll still need to meet you. I've not met you yet.
we're going to know everything about each other by the time we've met.
Right, Peter, here's your tune. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Peter. Hey!
One of these rare birds. It's a feathered one. Feather
There we
one.
go. What are you saying through that thing?
I've just spotted one of these rare birds. It's a feathered one.
It's behind you.
Yeah. It's the great red backed huge tit. Right. Okay. Ross, thank you very much for that song.
No
That's
problem.
tune.
Yep.
Thank you very much. I'll write words to it and it'll be a song as well.
Okay.
That's magic. Thank you very much. Great. It's a great compliment to have a tune written after you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. And lovely to see it in pipe notation as well, because I don't get that many tunes in pipe notation.
No. But you're a piper, so.
Yeah, fantastic. I'll have to play it.
Aye.
I was piping at a wedding yesterday. I think you were too, weren't you?
Aye, and I'd like to mention that as well. I'm going to stand like this a bit differently tonight. It's a bit awkward, but I get the sign behind you.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, I was piping. It was quite strange playing at a wedding just now when the folk had to wear masks all the time and things.
Yeah.
But it was a piper, another lad that was a OTC up here, and he was getting married. He was in the pipe band, so it was nice to be able to do it for him. Liam Buchanan and his wife Grace got married, and there was only 18 people there or something. But really nice. So I got to play the Highland Wedding for the first time in a while.
Great tune.
So great. But it was a really nice. I didn't realise until the minister said it yesterday that the date yesterday was 10/10/2020.
Yeah.
And I didn't realise that. And I thought that'd be a great name for a tune, 10/10/2020.
Good stuff.
So,
I was at a wedding yesterday as well. And it's the first time, and it was a local wedding.
Yeah.
Just outside Dunkeld in a place called Butterstone.
Oh, yeah.
And the estate that we were on was called Cardinate Estate. And it was the first time that I've piped there. They just opened up last year. And it's funny because I didn't think about this until I was up there. We've mentioned endlessly on all the broadcasts that we've done about singers, musicians, all the creative arts that are struggling through this sort of time that we've went through this year. It'll probably be more than a year now. But the one thing we've not mentioned actually at all that we should probably run a wee theme on is the venues.
Oh, yeah.
Local venues as well, because I went up to Cardinate Estate and they'd just spent 3 years building this place. Dougie McLean opened it last year. It's on his doorstep. He had 2 private music venues up there, personal music venues up there, ticket ones. 2 for this year and 2 for last year. And when I piped up at the wedding, they said, "Oh no, just you use this room while the wedding's on." And I got taken to the shooting lodge with a huge glass front that looked over a loch.
Wow.
And we had bursting sunlight through the showers, rainbows, everything, and it was probably the most beautiful place that I piped. So I'm going to.
Did anybody shoot at you?
I wasn't. Did it? No.
No.
I wasn't playing for that long. But Cardinate Estate. So a shout out to Cardinate Estate for.
There we go.
It's a wee secret gem up there. So if you are thinking about getting married, or having any other kind of music sort of venue or get together, look because they've got a real secret gem up there. They really have.
Fantastic. Great to know that. All the best, yeah, because it's hard for everybody just now. It's just pretty tough. So we've got a couple of great guests tonight. Looking forward to this. Young lady we're going to bring on first here, Claire Gullan, from living in Glasgow now. Claire lives in Glasgow, originally from Bankery, but we'll speak to you. Hi, Claire.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. Before we start, woot woot.
Thank you very much.
Oh, happy birthday. Very happy returns for tomorrow.
See, if anybody wondered there, when, just in case you thought it was just a delay in the internet, Ross was singing about a bar behind Claire.
I know. Sorry, Brian keeps coming into shot. It's his house too. Sorry about that.
That's all right. But it wasn't. That was just Ross normally singing though.
I do that for on the pipes. If anybody wanting happy birthday, I always play, instead of starting in low A, always start in low G and play it like a note down. And, because that's how everybody sings it, to be honest. I know. How many birthdays have you been to where they sing it in key?
Well,
not a lot. Anyway, Claire, lovely to have you on the show. Great
thank you very much for asking me.
Yeah, well, I'm really looking forward to it. You've got an exciting story so far. You've had a big musical journey. I'm right in saying that you were bankery originally, weren't you?
Yes. Went to school in Drumhoek and then Bankery Academy. But yeah, I went there through the Spain Real Society with Jane Davidson and Tracy Webster. So that was kind of how I got into it. My dad was a piper as well. So my dad's actually watching. I can't believe my 81-year-old dad is watching a programme live on YouTube.
Fantastic. That's what it's all about.
So he was a piper, and that's kind of how I got into the Scottish music.
Did he play with a band as well, your dad? Or did he?
Yeah, I think he played with the Contour Pipe Band just outside Inverurie.
Yeah, absolutely. I was over a Contour Pipe Band were in Norway with us one time with Yarrow Squad.
Oh, right, cool.
About 20-odd year ago. And Contour Pipe Band have actually come up here a couple of times to play it up Helliah as well. So.
Oh, no way. Oh, that's a coincidence, that.
So it's
I just got on one of those wee electric chanters, you know, like they've got a wee speaker at the end of it. It's brilliant. Yeah. Best thing ever.
Yeah, really good.
And actually, they are the best thing ever, because that's the only way we're getting pipers into schools just now and teaching.
Oh, that's right, isn't it? My pal's a piping teacher in Greenock, and he was saying that he's using them in the classes. So
it's an absolute godsend for one-to-one teaching. So
are they expensive to buy though, or are they not too bad? Or?
Well, the one that I got was it's always advertised on Facebook all the time. I don't want to go advertising it, but it was about £130. I think that's quite reasonable.
Okay. Yeah.
It's good quality.
Yeah, it is good quality. And the one that you're talking about is at the bottom end of the price range, but the quality of it's perfect.
Halfway up the A82, I think, is the name of it.
Good. There are other kinds of electric chanters available out here, ladies and gentlemen. Just like Tesco's make cornflakes, and so do cornflakes. Right, anyway, that's that bit covered. So, anyway, so you left Bankery, you went down to Glasgow to study at the academy, or was it the conservatoire at the time?
Sadly, it was the Royal Scottish Academy of Music and Drama.
It's okay, I can remember that too.
I got a scholarship. It was all very exciting, and went down to Glasgow. Absolutely hated it. A country girl that hadn't been out of the country went to the big city, and it was just like, oh no. So for the first 3 months, I think I went home every weekend in tears, and then I got into it. And absolutely loved it after that. It was good. Time of my life. Met some really nice people.
Was that the classical course you were doing there?
No, it was the Scottish music course.
The Scottish music course. Right.
Yep.
Which has been incredibly popular now over the years, and so there's a number of people come out. There's been a number of Shetland students through it now as well.
Well, yes, Jenna Reid. I watched the show a couple of weeks ago. Jenna Reid was there. Yeah, she was 2 years above me when I was there. So she kind of showed me the ropes a little bit, you know.
It's good. So was Pete Clark there when you were there as well then? Or was
yes, Pete Clark was my teacher in second and third year, I think, or maybe third year and fourth year or something like that. Yeah.
Because we had Pete in the show a wee while ago.
Was that the one with Lindsay Weir?
Yes, it was. Yeah,
it was good. It was good.
In fact, I was going to mention that tonight as well, because one of the other things that you do is you're an artist, and so is Pete. Pete's an artist as well. It's quite these fiddle playing artists.
And Marie Fielding as well. She likes to have a wee dabble with the paints.
There we go. So anyway, you done the trad course, and then did I read correctly? After that, you kind of gave up for a while.
I didn't give up. I merely saw that I needed to get some other way. I wanted a car and things like that, and I was working in a call center for Sky TV. I think, and I was just like, oh God, I'm going to have to do something else. So I basically looked the paper, remember the paper? I looked that for a job, and there was one that advertised saying, you can train and get paid at the same time. And I was like, yes, please. So I retrained as a dental nurse. and did that for 10 years. I worked at an orthodontist in Mulgai, where I ended up teaching quite a few of the patients how to play the fiddle and the violin.
Well, that's amazing. So you got offered to train as a dentist. When I answered that advert, they offered me a lion.
Dental nurse, Peter. Dental assistant.
Dental assistant. Yeah, when I answered the same advert, they said I could be a lion tamer. That was it. That's what they offered me.
Oh no, I was in the Glasgow Dental Hospital on Sauchiehall Street. It was really interesting actually, and then I kind of specialised in orthodontics. So I've never actually been present at a filling, but I know a lot about wires.
But if we're going to make £1 million at anything, it's being a dentist in Glasgow, I think.
Well, I don't know these days. They can't get it opened at the moment because
no.
I think we're all a wee bit stuck. But yeah, it wasn't private dentistry that I was involved in, so my conscience is clear.
Yeah, they're not allowed to use a drill anywhere. I don't think.
I know, nightmare.
But like Peter said,
so you were working full time, and then you thought, wait a minute, I could be playing a bit again here.
Well, I was teaching for RCS, so their youth workshops. I was doing a wee bit of cover work here and there for that, and I was building up my own base of pupils myself. And I was playing a lot with different dance bands. I was doing broadcasts on Take the Floor, and the straw came. The final straw came when somebody phoned me up and said, "We're looking for a fiddler to play in Radio Scotland tomorrow in a live broadcast. Can you do it?" And I was like, "No." So then I thought, if I don't do it now, I'm not going to do it. So I just my husband's been really supportive, and just went for it. And thankfully, so far, it's worked out.
I wouldn't have been able to do that live broadcast either because I can't play the fiddle. So I don't want a fiddle player. Ross, can you play the fiddle?
No.
I have to say though, my boss at the time, Mr. Jeff Glass, in a whole world of coincidence, I used to, a few years ago before I moved in with Brian, I used to live with Lorne McDougall, you know, the piper, famously the piper in Brave. Well, my first day at the orthodontist, I'm sitting next to Mr. Glass, passing him his mirror and then his probe. And he says, "My son gets pipe lessons from a guy called Lorne McDougall. Do you know him?" And I was like, "That's my flatmate." So it was really nice, and he was very, very accommodating. I have to say, there were some last minute trips to Italy that he fitted in and everything, but the music was calling.
I was playing a couple of his tunes last week.
Lawrence. Yeah.
I remember a dentist up here telling me once that there's a lot of fishermen in Shetland come in, obviously with toothache and things, and the Peterhead guys and Fraserburgh guys, that might come in off a fishing boat, and this guy came in, obviously a fisherman from Peterhead, as you can imagine, with a strong accent from up there, sat down in the chair, opened up, and she was examining his teeth, and she said, "So are you from Peterhead?" And he said, "Can you tell that if you're looking at my teeth?" It was nothing to do with the broad accent or the fishing gear or nothing.
My mum's family's actually from just outside Peterhead, although you wouldn't believe it from the way that I talk. But yeah, I'm tuned into that accent very, very clearly.
So do you fancy Guinness wee tune?
Okay.
And then we'll see. And then Ross will think up some difficult questions for you when you come back. And then...
I might have some difficult questions.
Yeah.
I'm going to play a wee slow air. This is a set from the Hands Up for Chad's Just Being Real. And this is just a wee slow air called Marnie Swanson of the Grey Coast by Andy Thorburn.
Lovely.
Fantastic.
Oh, but I've got to put my other headset on because I like a faff.
That's all right.
Half away. fantastic.
Lovely.
I think the first time that I heard that tune was on I think it might have been a Blazing Fiddles CD.
Yeah.
When I was I was all kind of pipe bandy sort of CDs, not really in the folk scene at all, really. And I remember having that CD and I had that and a Sugar Nifty CD, and I remember hearing some tracks. One of them that I was absolutely spellbound on, and it was great. I just went right back to that moment when I first heard it.
I think that's off the Blazing Fiddle album, Fire On, is it not?
Fire On. Is that exact one? It's beautiful.
Absolutely gorgeous, and a lovely tone coming out of your fiddle. Really very nice, strong sound. Very strong sound. Anybody that wants to send in any comments, please do so. We're delighted to hear from you.
Chrissy Brown.
And everybody joining in with things. Claire, one thing that was interesting to me a wee bit, you've been quite into tech for a wee while.
Oh my God, if anybody heard you say that, that would be so funny. Well, Brian is quite into things like that. And people suggest things to me and I'm like, Brian, how'd you do this?
Right.
And,
yeah, but that's okay. That means you're using it though, and you're using it and it's there. But I think you were teaching online and things, weren't you, before even COVID came along or anything like that? So.
Well, I don't know if that's strictly true. I had started a few weeks before the official lockdown came in, and oh, hello, Anne. Thank you very much for saying that. I was doing the podcast, the Claire's Keeley podcast. I've been doing that for a year, so that to me was a huge step of doing, like, presenting and producing something yourself. I hadn't even entertained that. I mean, I didn't even have Sibelius until a few years ago. So I got Ableton. The sort of music producing program, because Brian, my husband, has got it, and he kind of did a course in it, so he's quite proficient at it, and he's got so much patience for me, like asking silly questions. But anyway, getting around that, I started putting my podcast together and just sort of learning how to do that. And then I did a wee single track of a tune I got asked to write for Nettie's Tree. It's called. It's a Woodlands Trust. Eriskie's Nettie's Tree won Tree of the Year, and the Woodlands Trust did this the competition thing, and I was asked to write a tune to commemorate that. So I decided to make a little CD single thing as a project and how to learn how to use all the things. So I recorded all that at home and mixed it and everything myself. So it was kind of I like doing things the hard way, and I don't really know how to do anything properly, but it kind of works out all right in the end. It's fine.
Yeah, I think I'm very similar. I press buttons, and if it goes wrong, you just don't do that again. That's life, isn't it? That's life. But yeah, I think, I mean, I use Sibelius a lot in things, and these programs, it's great that we've got them now because it makes life so much easier and lets us share stuff about.
Absolutely. Even in your, like your kind of your online lessons that you're doing, you've got that fabulous tool, the share screen, and you can just put them up and you can make changes in these programs and show them, you could have done this, but you could also, this means the same, or it's just so easy. You would have just doodled that in a bit of paper in real life, but.
And I think, when you're teaching, like, the thing that I find very effective is if they send in an audio if they're stuck. Well, within a few seconds, you could say, right, and you can reference back that screen share or take and it goes straight back to the paper. I teach a lot of kids, so it's easy with it's easy to link all that together. Was that your beautiful assistant coming inside there?
It's my beautiful assistant coming in.
That's okay, Brian. It's okay. She said nice things about you, Brian. Don't worry.
He's looking after Iris the Whippet, or was that the fat Labros? I don't know.
I know it's you said for some reason is it there? You should get it on.
Iris. I don't know where she is. I don't know. That sounds like a calamity Claire situation altogether.
Another thing when you're teaching, you brought out a tutor book as well, didn't you? Fiddle tutor book. Excellent.
That's the very fiddle there. The very fiddle.
Obviously, you've seen many tutor books all over your years. So you had seen bad things and good things in them. And so what would you say?
Why did I write a tune book?
Yeah.
Write a tune book. Well, I think me, and I'm sure there are many other tutors out there, you can work from a book and that's fine, but everybody's always got their wee bits of paper and, oh, I've just got this out of this other book that I just wanted to show you this wee bit. Or for me, it's always a thing about discussing theory or like, you know, like the background to the music that you need. So there's quite a lot of this at the start is music theory, like explaining key signatures, time, you know, like compound time and simple time, a whole list of the different sharps running through the circle of fifths and everything. And I'm not expecting anybody to go in and read that and be like, right, let's read this from the start and get to the end, and then I'll be able to play the fiddle. I suppose like the writing at the start a lot is more like a kind of, you can dip in and out of that when you need it.
It's there as a reference.
Yeah, exactly. And you know how that way that everybody learns differently and you learn at different speeds, and sometimes you just need to make a connection with something else and you go back and then you're like, oh, right. So I find that, you know, that's what kind of what that was for. You know, read what about this, Claire? And we'll go to this page, discuss it. I don't really understand, and I'm like, right, okay, well, what about this? And we go back, and then like, oh yeah, that comes through now. But you know, it's some people won't want any of that at the start. They can absolutely do it without that, and some people will. Adults ask lots of questions. Adults like it, you know, and it's there too to explain to kids as well. It is, although it's not written in a child manner, it's factual information that it can be explained to a child as well. So
fabulous. And then you also have your composition book as well. Do you?
No.
Do you have a book? Have you not got a book of composition out yet?
No, I do not have a book of compositions. I had a couple of my tunes went in that Tune Hub 2019, I think it was. Hands Up for Chad for running it.
I've heard a few of your tunes and they're very good, so you'll have to start working on that now.
They're unique, that's for sure.
No, very good. It's great. And so anyway, folks, there you go. If you're interested in fiddle lessons or needing tutor books or anything, Claire, can they buy them on your website?
Yes, absolutely. You can get my tutor book on the website, and there's links to the Claire's Ceilidh podcast there as well. Yeah. And I actually just released a new one tonight. There was the most recent Claire's Ceilidh podcast went up this evening, and I've kind of been letting it slip a little bit because the house has been in turmoil. But and the one before that was the 2/4 special. I did a whole hour of every single track on the podcast is a 2/4 because they are the best. Moly. But that was episode 2. We've already had 2/4, the 2/4 special episode 1. So I might do a wee 6/8 special again. You know, if you're going to go niche, go niche.
I
Claire, can I ask you a question? Why you said 2/4s are best? Why do you think 2/4s are best? I've got my opinion on this.
Why do I think they're better? Well, they're just, you know how reels are great, right? But they're pure frantic, and there just seems to be, everybody wants to play them as fast as possible. And sometimes I feel like they just become a wall of sound. And I'm not complaining about that, it's good, but I feel like the 2/4 is underrepresented. And especially if it's a pipe 2/4, I just love the pipe scale. I should have been a piper. I don't know why I wasn't, but I should have. I like the flattened seventh. I like the swinginess of it. I like the rhythms and the intervals. I just think they're good. I love a Canadian barn dance.
As a pipe, the pipes have been played for centuries before the 2/4 came along.
Yeah, it's more of a military thing, isn't it?
But that evolution into the 2/4 scene or the competing march scene, it just happened at the right time. The Highland Games, all that era, like the mid 1800s on sort of thing. There's a massive sort of Victorian, like the dress, the regalia, the whole lot just got all like mental. But the 2/4 thing is definitely something that the pipers could show off with, was a 2/4 march. And I think out of all the types of tunes you can play, the biggest range of how you can show off on a 2/4. I think. Yeah,
they're quite tricky on the fiddle. You can't really attempt a 2/4 until you're quite, you're experienced down the road. Yeah. But there's some really good 2/4s written by box players. Freeland Barber has written quite a good few, and a couple of A minor numbers. They're always good.
Yeah, Eddie Harper wrote quite a few good 2/4 marches.
Oh, Jim Christie Wick. Pipe major. That is just one of the best.
Some brilliant going about. But I laughed when you said you liked the flattened seventh on the pipe chanter scale. See, when I play the pipes, sometimes my fourth and my fifth is flat. and the rest.
You're seventh's the only one that's sharp, Peter.
Yeah, I know. I didn't realise, see, when we had to play that thing for the Everyday Heroes, I didn't realise I thought there was a memo went round about flat, everybody make their B flat. Didn't realise. Yeah. Anyway, that's great. Claire, have you got a wee set of tunes for us before we come back to you? And we'll
Aye. I'm going to play a set of reels. The first one is going to be, I'm going to dedicate this to Hector Henderson from Portree, because he's just apparently on a week's holiday, but the pubs are shut. So he absolutely loves this tune, Black Pats by the Irish fiddler Tommy Peoples.
Uh-huh.
Then I'm going to play another 2 tunes which are in the sets for the Spain Reel. Farewell to Ireland and Dinkies. Everybody knows Dinkies. So if you've got your instrument at home, you've got time to get it out before we start.
Claire,
play along with that.
Are you honestly going to play reels after what you've just said about them?
Yeah.
I know. I've no consistency.
Irish.
No consistency. I nearly played the Detroit Highlanders. I don't know why I didn't. I should have.
Yeah.
Next time.
Next time.
Right, what are we doing? Right, I'm ready.
Well done, Claire. Super.
Yeah, very, very good. I love Irish.
And
I love.
And they were nicely controlled. They didn't become a wallet sound. And do you know another thing that I just thought about, Claire? I sure that you and I messaged each other about a year ago, and I was supposed to send you CDs, wasn't I?
Oh no! Well, it would be quite good to have.
I forgot about it.
Can we take this opportunity though, Peter? I've been waiting to come on here to do this. How does one out of the great Scottish public buy a new tune book from Peter Wood?
Oh, just on my website, www.peterwoodmusic.co.uk.
Thank you very much. Good. I'm going to be doing that later. Yes, if you could send me a wee track for the podcast, that would be ideal.
No, I'll send you the seat. Karen's back. My wife Karen's back stage here. Karen, if you could remember, could we send Claire? We've actually recorded a new album. We've just recorded it before lockdown. So we're hoping to have it out fairly soon as well. So
who have you got on that? Is that Graham Jameson on drums?
Graham, Andy Kane on the fiddle on this one, and nice. Arthur Nicholson on guitar, and myself. I'm doing piano and box and things.
Oh, I love a bit of Shetland guitar. I like that about a dance band. It just gives it a right lift, doesn't it?
So we're doing something just a wee bit different this one. So it's good. Yeah, good fun. Good fun. Tell us a quick bit about your Virtual Suspian Real Society and Hands Up for Tax thing that you've been doing.
Oh, yeah, that is so much fun. That was born out of lockdown. That really was a lesson on how to work technology, I tell you. The Hands Up for Trad Suspian Reel is an online Suspian Reel, and we meet once a fortnight on a Wednesday night at 7:30 UK time. We have a website, www.strathspeyandreel.co.uk, and basically we just play tunes like that, although I'm just horsing it out tonight. I'm just played the backing track through the speaker, but it's just being real. It comes through a separate PC through another audio interface, and so the people at home, what they get is they get to see everybody else on the screen, and they get to hear the piano, and there's a bit of bass and drums, and I'm there playing, and I think people kind of feel like they're kind of connected in a way that almost like they're playing in an orchestra. If anybody has the technology to jam in person, please do let me know. I don't think that's possible just quite yet. But and now we've got into the stage where kind of there's people, you can come any week. You can come for just 1 week, or you can come to all weeks. But, people are starting to get to know each other now. And then there's a bit of communication and chatting with each other and recommending different things to go and try. And
so can they find out about that on your website as well?
I think there's a link to that. Yeah, there's a link to that on my website. And the Hands Up for Trad website as well.
Because that sounds like an absolutely fantastic thing. And have you got any CDs out for sale as well?
I don't have any CDs at the moment. That's going to be my next project, recording a wee EP, I think, in my house myself. So that'll be good. But
fantastic. Brilliant.
I don't really watch TV much, but one of the things I like doing is when I'm busy with my kit or my pipes or doing stuff, I always have catch-up radio or like the Scottish channels that I like listening to, like Travelling Folk, Take the Floor, Pipeline, all these sort of places. Other radio stations are available. Double Measure, Heartland. But you're the Claire. I didn't know about the Claire Cayley podcast, and that's the interesting thing about lockdown. Yeah. As you start finding out about people, what their line is, who they like, you start listening to them. And I listen, like I think you've got 9 on your website, 9 podcasts there was 9 that I could see tonight.
Well, there's a whole load more than that actually. I've been doing it for more than a year, but I've got a PRS podcasting license, but I was using the free version of Podbean, and then things got serious. I got the pro version of Podbean. If anybody would like to join my Patreon, by the way, that would be greatly appreciated, because I don't get paid for any of this. I just do it for the love of the music. Because
it's fantastic.
I had to take some of them down, but I think the ones that are still up, some of the highlights is, I don't know if you've heard of Merino Day at the Park Bar. Nick McMeekin, Matthew McLennan, twice a year they would do a sort of Merino Accordion Appreciation Day, and at the last one in November, and oh my God, who knew that would be the last one? I went down with my recorder and my microphone. I had and then my mic stand, and I was in about doing an outside broadcast for it. It was really good actually. That was explaining at the start that the sound was always going to be a bit raw because it was recorded live, but it got to sort of 7 o'clock at night, and then it was getting a bit rowdy at the bar, and it was getting to the stage where I couldn't actually record anything else, so I didn't get to record everyone. And everyone knows the best tunes are at 10 o'clock at night. But I'm only joking. It was a fantastic.
That's a very, very good podcast to listen to if anybody's interested, because the range of music you've got in there is brilliant. Pipe stuff, everything you could think of as well.
It's just the stuff I like gets on it.
Claire Scaly folks, all you folks out there that love this music. I think there's more and more folk come out by the day that we're finding out that really like this music and haven't been sure where to access a lot of it. So this is letting us use technology just now that we're accessing it and showing people where to access it. And it's great. And I'll get these CDs in the post to you, or Karen will remind me to do it. And, you know,
just one track would be fabulous.
The last interview I done tonight with Derek Hamilton, he said, "Oh, by the way," he says, "can you remember about 38 years ago or 40 years ago when I fixed your MIDI bass for you, or electronic bass?" He said, at Air Accordion Club or something. He says, because you were going to Holland the next day and you had nowhere to get it fixed. And I says, "Oh, gee whiz, I can't remember that." And he says, "Well, any chance I could get my soldering iron back someday that I lent you as well?" So it's taken 40 years for that to come up Gem tonight as well. So anyway, Claire, go on then. Tell us your best gig ever. What was the best gig ever?
Oh man, I think the best gig ever was with the Bankery Spain Real Society. We went to Lorient Music Festival in, I don't know, 1997 or 8, 1998, or 8, something like that. And the reason why it was so good is because I found Gordon Duncan that weekend. He was playing at it as well. So, and I came back and I went to Inverurie Music Shop up the wee lane and I bought Just for Seamus. And I'd never heard anything like that. All I'd heard in Bankery was accordion, fiddle club or pipe band. And I was into both of them. I was happy with that. And then Just for Seamus came and that last track, Just for Seamus, I was like, oh. And then, yeah.
That is a timeless CD.
So I kind of always think about Lorient as kind of my music awakening, I guess.
I remember Gordon going into his rucksack at the Worlds one year and said to me, "Have you got my new CD yet?" No, and he went into the rucksack and gave me one. It was that album he gave me, and I've still got it upstairs somewhere. It's there.
Oh, that was lovely.
So it's amazing CD. Claire, thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Ladies and
gentlemen, check out Claire Gullan on her website. Check out, it's a really good, well laid out website. You can go on, you can see other stuff she's doing, tutor books galore, and lessons. Just speak to her.
Claire, don't be shy either. Like if you've got anything coming up in the future.
No.
I've watched most of these every week, and I take my cues from Peter punting his own book. So you know.
Yeah.
Did you know I've got a book?
I know earlier on in the interview it says, "And you've got a book of compositions," and you were like, "No," and I was like, "Here he goes."
Foot in the door.
Speak to Davey Hunter. He'll sort you out.
Before you go, Claire, don't if you want to put any of your own stuff up on our YouTube site. If you've got anything up and coming or any new stuff you'd like to promote, feel free to share it, and we'll help share it with you.
Oh, cool. That's great. I really think you guys are doing a great thing, by the way. It's just fantastic. I've really enjoyed them. I look forward to them on a Sunday night. So well done. And Karen as well.
Fantastic speaking to you, Claire. Thanks very much.
Right, cheers, guys. Cheerio.
You take care down there. Take care. Bye.
Cheerio.
Very good. Eh?
Lovely lass. Lovely lass.
You know, and this is the thing about the whole lockdown thing for me. The biggest thing I've learned is to go and listen to other musicians that I'd normally never really listened to, but I'd listen for longer and I'd listen to what they had to say, because people are speaking now. It's not just this is what I'm selling. It's not just like folk are showing you their show, and if you just give them it, you've got time to listen to these people.
Well, they're very, very interesting people.
Claire was one I didn't know about Claire before this show, and I've spent a week googling and watching stuff that she does.
There's somebody on for Holland there saying they're involved with this display, and it's great. So brilliant.
But I think we're in for a long winter, so don't make it a lonely one. Like, get into this music, share these stories.
Just on that thing about it being a lot. Oh, there you go. You have to get a book out as well. See, we can all get books out. Everybody's got a book. Right. What I was going to say, but one of the things, just quickly before we go on to our next guest, I think is in the last week or two, we have actually got some amazing guests going on in the next couple of months. It's so nice that this show's taken off a wee bit and people are enjoying it. They see we're taking it it's a fun, but we're taking it serious as well. At the same time, we're doing it for the musicians. There's a lot of folk been getting in touch, even saying about coming on, and some really respected musicians. So it's going to be great to have them on as well. So I'm really looking forward to it. We've got a lot of stuff coming up for these folks.
The good thing about winter is, I think it's a natural thing in the kind of Scottish music scene. When it gets these darker nights and longer days, the music does get it's a big part of our lives to keep us going. And we've got the St Andrews, we've got Christmas, Halloween, we've got Burns, we've got all sorts of things coming up to keep us through it. So there's going to be loads and loads of themes and good stuff.
Brilliant. And we have a young man waiting backstage just now, but he's in Edinburgh, isn't he? So, but did you see Sandy Brecon today? I know. Did you see Sandy Brecon today?
I did. He's mental. I told you.
Last week's guest. Over to you.
Right, thank you. So before we go on to Andy, Claire did mention a big thank you to Karen in the background. So Karen does lots of stuff for us. She's probably the only one that actually knows what's going on a Sunday between 8 and 9:30. So it is your birthday tomorrow, Peter. And there's loads of people around the world that wanted to say happy birthday to you in the rotary way. So we've been in touch with them. I've spoke to everybody in Perthshire, and we've chipped together and we've bought you a fiddle. But Karen's put a wee slideshow on for you tonight. So sit back and enjoy. And these are the people.
Okay. Wow. Speechless.
You're speechless. That's about time.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. Everybody.
Thanks to everybody. You're worth it, Peter. You've done a great thing with music. It's been fantastic to watch you. So
great people in there. Thank you very much. Very, very nice.
Good stuff. So we better get Andy on while we can.
Yes, bring that man on. You do the build up for Andy because you know him.
Aye, Andy. I can't wait to introduce Andy. Andy was when I fled the nest when I was a young man. I joined the Black Watch, and the first thing I ever did was the Edinburgh tattoo after my basic training. So I was a young man in Edinburgh from Ballinluig, and one of the first pubs in Edinburgh that I ever went to was the Scotsman's Lounge. And lo and behold, who was bringing the tiles off the roof there was this man. Here he is.
Hello, Andy.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on the show, boys. Thanks for having me on.
Brilliant to have you.
I loved Claire's version of Happy Birthday, so I'm going to have to sing you one as well, Peter. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Peter. Happy birthday to you. Hip hip.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me on. lads.
Aye.
We were going to say you've not been very busy, but last Saturday you were on for a whole 4-hour slot.
Aye, it's kind of winding up to get to that sweet spot, as they say, you know, which maybe happened around. I started about 8 o'clock, and it maybe happened about 9:30. So I decided to stay. It went on till about 12:30, I think. But a lot of folk come in, and a lot of folk watching, and a lot of folk. I don't know how many on average of folk were watching, but folk will tune out, and then other folk will tune back in. So,
brilliant. There was one bit I tuned in. One bit I tuned in, and you were singing Celtic Clippy, and I don't, was it Daphne that was dinging a bell in the background?
Aye, that's right. That's it. Aye, by the great John Watt.
Yeah.
Aye, and it's really nice singing songs in the locale. I know we're living in Leith, and I know it's like sunshine in Leith. Maybe isn't your favourite, Peter?
No, come on, it's my birthday tomorrow. Don't sing that. That's all right. So, Andy, so obviously, wow, gigs have dried up and all that, but good to see you. You're still out there. You're still keeping going a bit.
Aye, well, we've been doing a few live streams recently, but it's a bit of a difference from an average of 4 gigs I was cancelling for the whole of the last wee while since the beginning of April. So, and it'll not be till the new year till I go out again, you know. It was 4 a week. Aye, so it's an average of 4 a week, sometimes 5. Sometimes I get a wedding during the day, and then but weddings are on hold, and I'm starting to get some bookings in for next year. So, but I mean, it's quite interesting. It's the most I've sat in the house for a long time, you know. Because when I met yourself, Ross, I was a time I was out about 6 nights a week in pubs in Edinburgh.
Yeah, and it's funny.
Only in Edinburgh.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned it. I was actually thinking about it between when I came up from the sound check earlier to now. I was actually thinking about back at that time, because I remember in 1999, I did a 3-month piping course at the Castle in Edinburgh, and every night and we had that guide to the gigs that went round all the Edinburgh, and I remember looking, and it was like, where's Andy Chung, where's Doogie Rush, and it was always the Heb, it was always the Oak, it was always the Scotsman's Lounge or whatever. That's
right.
And that's where your night was. That's where you'd go, because you knew that's where the people would be as well, and the crack was always there. But then it was while the show was on, actually, and I was thinking about it, like how to bring this up with you. But like, we're talking about this being a really, really weird time, and it is. It's probably the weirdest it's ever been for pubs. But like that, I'm talking about that course that I was on was 1999. But since like 7 years on from that, they stopped smoking in the pubs, and that changed quite a lot of things for the pubs. But then it's now you're not allowed to drink in pubs. So
I saw that. I saw a picture of that of these old guys sitting outside a pub, and one of them saying to the other. One of them saying to the other, you know, I remember when they stopped smoking in pubs. Now you can't even drink in them.
Pubs have taken a real hit with what
terrible.
And the pub's all about the company, really, and music's the glue that puts that.
Just wondering there, Ross, when Andy was saying he was out playing in the pubs making money 6 nights a week, and you were probably out in the pubs 6 nights a week spending money.
Maybe not. I thought there's 7 days in a week.
Yeah.
You would help me encourage my education. You would help me encourage my education, Ross. That's what it was.
There's Dick Hamilton for Fife. Come on and said, Andy, tell us a wee bit. You're originally from Fife, aren't you?
Exactly.
Before you.
Well, that's right. I mean, you know, if ever I'm playing somewhere new, like and there's one. A very good evening, Dick. A lot of folk go, you know, it's always the thing, isn't it? You know, where are you from? And I go, you know, in fact, there was a chap outside of the Gothenburg in Rosyth, and at half time he says, "Oh, we're really enjoying your music, Andy. Tell me, I've got a bet on with my mate. Where are you from?" he reckons you're from Thailand. Is that right? And I went, well, he's close. I'm from near Burn, Thailand. I'm from Kirkcaldy. And you get a kind of like, oh, excuse me. And I met, you know, but it's a, even good pals of mine. When I first met them, I was singing Flower of Scotland in a wee pub in called Tippler's Bar in Bread Street. And this guy stood up and he goes, "You've got no right to sing that song." That's what he says, you know. And he goes, "Where are you from?" And I goes, "Kirkcaldy." And he goes, "All right then, carry on." You know, so it's one of these things where it's become a punchline for a long time. Is Kirkcaldy, you know. I've been living over in Edinburgh for a wee while, but I still have had a lot of gigs back through in Fife. And again, it's the crack changes and the banter changes. So it's been quite strange over the last wee while. I've not gone out and meeting folk, you know, and seen all my pals up in Einster or through in Kirkcaldy or Dunfermline or up in Dingwall. I've been going up to Dingwall quite a lot. Been in Inverness quite a lot over the last couple of years.
Right.
And so
where do you play in Dingwall?
In Dingwall, it's the Mallard.
I was going to say, there's only one place in Dingwall. It's going to be the Mallard.
Yeah.
The Mallard, fantastic. What a place.
I played the pipes in the
Mallard.
Fantastic. Brilliant.
Right.
And I've got my country songs already because there's a whole young team up there because of their parents and their grandparents all been into country music. You know, they like the old country, old style, you know, old school country music.
Do you fancy giving us a wee song? What do you fancy giving us?
Aye, certainly. I'm going to sing you this wee song about, as I say, it's a kind of like song that I sing all over as a wee bit of an introduction, a wee bit of an introductory to myself, to folk. Almost heaven in Kirkcaldy. Still got neighbours here since I was a wee laddie. I was born there the back of Benakee, up frae Valley Gardens for Park Maternity, country roads, tap me home to the place where I was born in the kingdom frae the lang tune, tap me home, country roads. Playing rugby at Balweary, I had pals of mine that were in the Langtoon Dairy. All the other bairns there going home after school, buses to Burnt Island, Kinghorn and Ochtertool, country roads, tap me home to the place where I belong in the kingdom frae the Langtoon, tap me home, country roads. Almost heaven in Kirkcaldy, hanging around where Linton, Skinner and Swanee. I was going to be a bonny lass frae Masserine Road, drinking down white in the cemetery under age of Jackie O's, country roads, tap me home to the place where I belong in the kingdom frae the Langtoon, tap me home, country roads. Aye, the linoleum, country roads. Seafield Colliery, country roads. The mighty Raid Rovers, country roads. The great Jockey Lawson, country roads. And undoubtedly the finest Chinese cuisine to ever come out of Fife, indeed Scotland. And I'm a wee bit biased because it's my mum and dad's wee takeaway shop, John's Chinese Takeaway and Fish Bar, 241 Temple Hall, Dunern Drive, Temple Hall, telephone number 01592266338, in the catchment area of Temple Hall, Suckenbush, the Lincoln, the Gallanton, and Kirkcaldy.
Fantastic, Andy.
Thank you very much indeed.
That's the best plug. That's the best plug we've had. Well done. That was brilliant.
Aye.
I don't think a takeaway's ever a takeaway's never had an advert on our show yet.
Well, that sadly it's away now. You know, good thing, and it's but that's where I grew up, standing on an iron brew crate. You know, kind of thing behind that counter, you know, in Temple Hall. And I actually played recently back in Temple Hall Tavern in Kirkcaldy, and it was really, really nice. A lot of folk I knew when I was a youngster and a teenager were coming in and whatever, you know. So I got a lot of good memories.
If anybody out there wants to send in comments, and we'll get them up. There's Steve Johnson. I was coming to that in a wee minute. I was going to quickly ask you something that interests me when I was reading your bio a wee bit. You went into creative arts to begin with. You went to Telford.
That's right. I went to Telford College.
Aye, and then you were at Glasgow Art School as well.
That's right. I ended up in the environmental art department in Glasgow, and then I ended up joining a band, and that was it. Like that I ended up joining a funk, believe it or not, a funk soul band with guys from who ended up in fact it was Big Ranald MacArthur who ended up being a member of Sugar Nifty. And James McIntosh, Big Ranald, Big Quee, and so I used to see all these guys, Angus Grant, and I was good pals of Angus's, and it was interesting because it was with going into the Oak and going into the White Hart and going into the Scotsman, where it became a whole kind of re-education for me, you know, because I missed out on all the West End to Tell kind of scene that was happening in Edinburgh, which was like I suppose it's the equivalent of the Park Bar.
Yeah, Jason was talking about.
Aye, I missed out on all that, and when I got to the Scotsman, and I got to know Dougie Rush, and I got to know Brian Riley, and I got to know these guys, and ended up playing in the Oak, and ended up doing support slots for Alistair MacDonald, and then met Mike Mara, and met all these folk. The music's changed, you know, kind of thing, eh?
Was that Alistair, the folk singer that played the banjo in that as well, Alistair?
That's right.
Yeah,
aye, that's right.
I remember I done a Hogmanay show for Radio Clyde one year and with the back Alistair with Ian McPhail's band. And Alistair was a superman, really nice fellow, really genuine guy to work with, and exceptionally professional.
Well, he's still apparently still in go. He's still going out playing live and whatever, you know.
Never seen him go on. But then when you said there now, Steve Johnson just put up a comment there just a minute ago. Steve, I've lived in Shetland for 25 years, but before that I came from a wee village called Crawford John, which you know very well.
Aye.
Because Steve Johnson comes from Crawford John that plays with you, and so does Bone Graham.
That's right. That's right.
Bone's got the recording studio there.
That's right. That's where I've recorded 8 albums there in Crawford John.
Now, it's funny because I've not known you because I've been away for so long, but my mum and dad had been to see you a couple of times playing in Crawford John. And did you not do a Hogmanay there or something as well, or something?
I think I've done 2. In fact, the last Hogmanay was in Crawford John, and I've done maybe 3 Hogmanays, and I played there through the year.
My late dad now, but my dad was the gamekeeper in Crawford John, so I've known Stephen and all them since they were Perry boys, since they were bairns. And Stephen actually played the organ at my dad's funeral 2 years ago for him. So I've known these guys all the time. And Bone, his father Gordon, used to work with my dad with the gamekeeper and all that. So there you go. It's a small world. Small world.
It's a very small world indeed.
Did you say 8? Did you say 8 albums?
It's about 8 albums. I think I've done it. I've done it. The Washoe Studios, Bone Studio in Crawford John, and they're kind of like traditional albums, original stuff. But that'll be 20 years next year when I first met Stevie Johnston in the winter of 2001, and I love it. It's fantastic. Stevie gave me this book for my birthday one time, and it's I think it was. John Buchan's first published novel, and it's Burnet of Barns, and in it, obviously, he's got the line from somewhere, out of the world into Crawford John.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Which I'd heard from Stevie, and of course, I think it'll go back before John Buchan. I think the line, but it literally is like that, isn't it? I mean, it is out of the world, up the old Carlisle Road, and into Crawford John, and it's fantastic.
I think it's Wordsworth. Does it not go back to Wordsworth's sister said it or something? It was something like that. And,
right, I could quite believe that.
Stevie got me down about 3 years ago to record some stuff at Washoe Studios because he brought out the wee album, the CD, Out of the World and into Crawford John.
Aye.
And we all played on all the different musicians for Crawford John area. So I was down and done the live performance for that one as well. It was great fun. Great, he done a great job. But Bone used to, when I was a little boy growing up, they had a kind of heavy rock type band. And they were called the Hemorrhoids.
That's right. That's right. The Hemorrhoids.
Some name that, eh? The Hemorrhoids. And the recording studio.
Los Cuatros Hemorrhoidos.
The recording studio didn't have as polite a name as it's got now either. It's much politer now.
Well, I finally met Bone in about 96. Right. After I've heard about the Hemorrhoids, because they used to play through in Fife. Yeah. And they were a big draw over in the Cunsey Nuke in Fife. And mates of mine used to say, well, at weekends, I used to go and have to work for my dad, So all these guys have got records. They used to release their own records. And with songs such as Doggy Fashion and How Can I Love You If You Won't Take Off Your Pants. That was another big smash hit for the Hemorrhoids. And then, of course, I'd always miss out because I'd be working for the old man in the shop, in Temple Hall, so I couldn't go. And then, I'd see them during the week, mates of mine, and it'd be, "Oh, Chungy, you missed yourself. We were watching the Hems at Cunsey Nuke." but then you kind of fast forward to the mid 90s, 96. It was at the Cars Rock when I first met Bone, finally. And I had a chat with him, and very impressive, great blues band. And he was telling me that I think he was still working for the council at that time, and he was telling me about the studio. And then it was a couple of years after that, I was playing in the Oak, and a couple used to come and see me, Jim Brack and Maureen Brack, and Jim's from Crawford John, Jimmy Brack. Yeah. I don't know if you know him. Yeah. Aye, Jimmy's a good pal of mine now. I mean, I met him in the 90s. I met him in the Royal Oak, and he says, "Oh, a mate of mine's got a studio in the Borders. Would you fancy coming along? If you fancy recording, you fancy coming?" I says, "I wouldn't be Bone by any chance." Oh, he says, "Do you know him?" I says, "No, and I just chatted with him at this gig that I was playing at. I had a band supporting the Hemorrhoids, and went down, and Bone goes, "What do you want to do?" I says, "I want to record some songs." And he says, "We've got a fella in the village. Amazing. It's like finding Rick Wakeman in a Scottish Borders village." Stevie Johnston says, "I've got so I met him in the pub, and then the next day he came down on the Tuesday afternoon, and he put down bass, piano, keyboards, string sounds on these 5. I started off with maybe 4 or 5 tracks that week, and I was just blown away. I was amazed, good thing, eh? And of course, you're in the countryside, and it's quiet and whatever, in the big house, good thing, eh? And the Bones place, fantastic.
Well, you've done more than me. I've never supported the Hemorrhoids, so. Have you fancy giving us another song? Give us another song.
Aye. I'm gonna play one for Ross, because in the days when I used to play, as I say to you, it's a big education for me playing the Scotsman in the Hebrides Bar, and that. I remember it must have been the late 90s. I did my first gig for the military at Craigie Hall.
Oh, aye.
And Ross, you'll know Joe Darragh. You know Joe Darragh?
Aye.
Dave Stacey.
Uh-huh.
So these guys got me out there for a Christmas, and it was one of the best curries I've ever had. It was before everybody went on leave at Christmas time in 1999, and out at Craigie Hall, and they were kind of. I got ordered to learn this, and I did learn it. So I'm going to do a wee version, especially for yourself, Ross.
Thank you.
Dwar recruiting sergeants come frae the Black Watch to fair and to market recruits for to catch, and all that they listed was 40 and 12. Say listen on a laddie and come awa, and it's over the mountains, over the main, through Gibraltar to France and to Spain, wi' a huckle to your bonnet and a kilt in your knee. And listen on a laddie, come awa with me, wi' your tatty boots, your meal and kale, your sure sound sourens, your rill brewed ale, wi' your buttermilk and whey, and breed by your raw. So listen on a laddie and come awa, and it's over the mountains, over the main, through Gibraltar to France and to Spain, wi' a huckle to your bonnet and a kilt in your knee. And listen on a laddie, come awa with me, it's to the barn and to the byre. This greedy old farmer will think she'll never tire. You've a slavery job, a low degree. So listen on a laddie, come awa with me, and it's over the mountains, over the main, through Gibraltar to France and to Spain, wi' a huckle to your bonnet and a kilt in your knee. And listen on a laddie, come awa with me, it's to the barn and into the byre. This greedy old farmer will think she'll never tire. You've a slavery job, a low degree. So listen on a laddie, come awa with me, and it's over the mountains, over the main, through Gibraltar to France and to Spain, wi' a huckle to your bonnet and a kilt in your knee. And listen on a laddie, come awa with me, oh laddie, if you've got the sweet turtle beer, we'll easily get you that old spun yarn, where rattles are the rum and that can pay it all. So listen on a laddie, come awa, and it's over the mountains, over the main, through Gibraltar to France and to Spain, wi' a huckle to your bonnet and a kilt in your knee. And listen on a laddie, come awa with me, and listen on a laddie, come awa with me.
Great.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
It was the Black Watch that I was in. That's a firm favourite of mine. Absolutely.
Ah, it's a great song. Ah, it's a great song. Oh, it's John Murphy.
There we go. Speak of the devil.
Oh my goodness.
Aye.
Big John.
You've been paid
Big
for
John.
1999. Andy, you've been paid for 1999, haven't you? Because we can phone him.
What is that?
I'm saying there's Big John. He had the Scotsman's Lounge.
Aye, that's right. He doesn't have to pay me the night. That's good. You'll be happy.
He can if he wants to.
Aye, well, he can if he wants. Aye, definitely. Aye, and that Liz Island is my mother-in-law. She just popped up there.
Brilliant.
Fantastic.
That last song that you sung, just for folk that might not know, and that's a very old song, or that style of song's a very old song, a recruiting song from probably maybe the late 1700s, maybe. Very hard to recruit people in the army, and these were the type of songs sung to romanticize what the army was like, you know.
Yeah, there was always some
Yeah.
guys
Oh,
fell
aye.
for it, wasn't there?
200 years, 200 years
You've got
later,
that. You've got that menu. You've got
Aye.
that menu as the third verse of what you can have, and you know, brilliant. Oh, it's fantastic,
200
fantastic.
years later, they're still recruiting people. I'm standing there in the Sportsman's Lounge singing it out to somebody from Thailand singing it to me.
Oh, aye, that's it. Bum Thailand. No,
Thailand.
that's nice to see. That's nice to see Big John's on. That's nice to see Big John's
Yeah,
on.
Andy,
happy
Andy,
days.
do you go away with the Tartan Army sometimes as well?
I have done. I have done. And I was up in. I think the last one I went was Holland, which is about how long ago was that? 9 years ago.
Right. Because I heard some of the lads saying
I was in Holland.
Some of the boys were up here said they'd met you away somewhere once.
Aye, that's right. It was. I met a few boys from Shetland. I met a few boys from Shetland on this amazing trip up to the Faroe Islands. It was 30 votes his first game in charge.
Yeah.
And that was incredible. And the guy had his Viking gear on. I remember one of the guys had the tin helmet with the wings on it, and what a trip that was! That was just fantastic. You know, 2-0 down at half time to a bunch of fishermen and school teachers and shepherds. That was their team. 2-0, and I can still fantastic. You know,
puffins at half time.
It's like the thing about the Canning Islanders, though.
There's a fellow Lyle Gare, a chap way up here. He's the big Viking guy, and he always goes for the Tartan Army as well. I would think that.
Aye. Oh, it was happy days. Brilliant trip.
And then it was
a brilliant trip.
Have puffins at half time.
Aye. I was going to ask you.
Puffin, yeah.
Aye. I know puffin.
Yeah. Did you try it?
I didn't try it. No, I didn't try it. I was actually tempted, but it was for me. It was the kind of meeting the guys from highlight for me was meeting the Eskimo guys, meeting the Inuit guys in the pub on the Sunday afternoon before we left. They'd look at me in the kilt, and it's kind of communication with beyond language. It was fantastic. You know, these guys are all having a pint. They've come off some fishing boat or whatever, and they're looking at me with a kilt on, and they're going, great. And you can see it's like, what the guy was saying was, you look like my cousin. He says, you look like my cousin, but you have a kilt on. You got the kilt. The world seemed a nicer place, a smaller, nicer place for an afternoon. I tell you, it was just fantastic. Really nice.
Andy, see all your albums. Are they all for sale on your website? Yeah.
They are. You can get my albums. And you can have a look at my wee piece of artwork on my website, which is there. Aye, that's it. www. Aye, there's quite a best. It's my best seller. I've still got a few copies under the bed, but I was mentioning I was going to record a load of traditional songs about maybe 15 years ago, and it was my mate Axel that plays the mandolin. He was going, you should call it the McChung, and we could do a nice kind of like Macallan's bottle kind of cover for you. Good thing is, so it's 14 songs distilled in Scotland, the McChung. Good thing is, so
excellent. Well, folks, please go on Andy's website and try and support him and buy some CDs, because you're going to love them. If he's got 8 different ones there for a choice, you can't do much better than that, to be honest.
Aye. Can I mention somebody?
Go for it.
Can I give somebody a mention? I'd like to mention Ewan Galloway. All right, Ewan, thanks very much for he's played a few of my songs, and Derek Hamilton from Radio GH. Great, really nice, really nice surprise for me. Great show. And that
was the show I done tonight. It was them that was interviewing me earlier on.
Fantastic.
And they've got a great show. Really watch out for that one, folks. Radio G. It's covering a lot of subjects, especially our kind of music. So if you like that kind of music, so. But Andy, how's about a song that you really like?
Right, a song I really like.
Aye.
Okay, right. I'm going to play a song that I'd heard. I was talking about Axel Campbell, who's a very dear friend of mine from Harris, and he's on every recording. A big inspiration to me, Axel. You know, he's a great mandolin player. He used to have I don't know if you've heard of a band called Pipe Down.
Oh yes.
He's one of the founder. He's one of the founder members of Pipe Down. With Lee Moore and but I played him this song because he lives over in Cork. So I says, I don't know what you're going to think of this, Axel, because it's the age old massacre of Glencoe, the infamous massacre of Glencoe. I'd heard this other version of this song written by a guy called Bob Proudfoot, who's a fabulous accordion player from Linlithgow. I don't know if you know Bob, a lovely man, great guy. But he wrote this song because he works with a guy called Ian MacDonald, and he had a brainwave one day, and he says to him, how come if the Campbells got rid of you guys, how come every time I switch on the TV, there's a McDonald this and a McDonald, somebody McDonald this comes up and whatever, there's all these McDonalds all over the place. So he decided to write this tune for him, and it's called Don't Ask the Campbells to Do It. Bob Proudfoot, here's to you. If you're into genocide, here's good advice. Don't ask the Campbells to do it, 'cause they tried to wipe out the MacDonald clan, and it very much looks like they blew it. Apparently some of them fled in the night. The Campbell decided to let them take flight. They will never survive here, aye, that will be right. Even rabbits breed slower than McDonald's. If you're into genocide, here's good advice. Don't ask the Campbells to do it, 'cause they tried to wipe out the MacDonald clan, and it very much looks like they blew it. Well, they bred in the hills and down on the sands. Soon they had spread out all over the land, 'cause their rhythm method was a wild Keeley band, and they jigged to a tune called MacDonald. If you're into genocide, here's good advice. Don't ask the Campbells to do it, 'cause they tried to wipe out the MacDonald clan, and it very much looks like they blew it. Well, their mission accomplished, they sailed overseas to wherever their ships were blown by the breeze. Soon there were more of them than Japanese, only Chinese outnumbered McDonald's. If you're into genocide, here's good advice. Don't ask the Campbells to do it, 'cause they tried to wipe out the MacDonald clan, and it very much looks like they blew it. Well, there's McDonald's in Spain and in Italy too, in Russia, Australia, and even Peru. There's probably one of them sat next to you, 'cause the whole world is full of McDonald's. If you're into genocide, here's good advice. Don't ask the Campbells to do it, 'cause they tried to wipe out the MacDonald clan, and it very much looks like they blew it. So that's it from me. I'm a wa for my tea, and I really could murder a McDonald's.
Very good. Fantastic.
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, Andy.
Yeah, that's just put a new slant in that one altogether, doesn't it?
I was sitting talking to Axel Campbell in Cork, and he got the thumbs up for it. Yeah, I got the thumbs up for Axel, so that's from Axel, so that's a good thing, you know. The Campbell of Norton Harris.
Really good.
But
there's folk just loved that there, Andy. There's a lot of folk putting in comments, and it was great.
He's written some beautiful tunes, Bob Proudfoot, you know, but that one's like, I think that was a cracker, you know. It's
there's Mr. Galloway.
Great.
Yes. Good. Listen, Andy, we're kind of running out of time, but it's been so good having you on. I think we'd need to get you on another
it's been
night.
a pleasure.
I think we'd have to get you on some other night today, more songs. It's been great.
Thanks for having me on your show. It's fantastic. I really enjoyed Sandy Breakin last week.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
No idea what was going to happen next there. That was quite fun.
You got time for one more?
I can tell you something you've brought.
You want to do another?
Aye.
Go on then. Go on. He wants to do another.
Is that okay?
Andy, it's all right. It's our show. We can do what we want.
That's great. I'm going to sing. I get requested this song.
Cardinal just switches off.
I get requested this song. I get requested this song a lot. It's about I spent a time when I was a child in Leven through in Fife, and as I like to say to folk, I moved back to Kirkcaldy when I was 10, so you could say I left Leven before I was a leaving. And this and this is a song that I wrote about Johnny's Amusement Arcade and Prize Bingo, which is still there on Leven Promenade. It's called the Beachcomber, but I used to go there especially during the summer holidays with your mates and whatever, and play all the machines and whatever. But it's the penny falls machine with the coins tantalizingly hanging on the edge. Coming to strike some piece of luck, playing on the penny falls. For the now is turned back to dust, here it is, that's all. Pockets full jingling change, playing on the penny falls. Land summer breeze to waste away, till my mother calls. I'll loose a fishing for a spell, on the links I'll ride the carousel. This floating world is something else, as sights and sounds undo themselves. A wick coming to strike some piece of luck, playing on the penny falls. For the now is turned back to dust, here it is, that's all. Pockets full jingling change, playing on the penny falls. Land some of these to waste away, till my mother calls. Papagallo's parlour on the prom, 99 was the number of my song. Always felt out on a limb because I was fighting for a prize that never was. I'm still coming to strike some piece of luck, playing on the penny falls. For the now is turned back to dust, here it is, that's all. Pockets full jingling change, playing on the penny falls. Land some of these to waste away, till the autumn falls. Start here, this heart was born to time, born to chance. Won't you help me and I'll help you make the silver dance? From the start here, this heart was born to time, born to chance. Won't you watch me and I'll watch you make the silver dance? bands. They're always through my parents' hands, so I go where this heart of mine commands. Imaginings I could never understand, under J.C. Haley's wings I'll learn to dance. Aren't we coming to strike some piece of luck, playing on the penny falls? For the now's turned back to dust, here it says that's all. Pockets full of jingling change, playing on the penny falls. Long summer days to waste away till my mother calls. Best feeling of all, here it says that's all. Playing on the penny falls.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much.
Lovely lyrics.
Yeah, really good.
Thanks again for having me on. Really
Brings back memories, songs like that.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the wonderful thing about folk music is, and folk song, is it tells these stories and it just never ages, does it?
It never ending.
And having you on tonight, for me, who's in the middle bracket age of being old enough to have like quite old memories, but still young enough to have these memories for the same amount of years again. Like that was my footsteps into being a man when I was in Edinburgh. Like that was me going from boy to man, and I can smell what the Scotsman smelled like then. I can feel how sweaty it was, how loud it was. You know, like you really took me back to that part of my life. It's been absolutely fantastic, and few other things than music and people can do that. Thank you very much, Andy.
Yeah,
it's a pleasure. You're very welcome. My pleasure. No, I think about those times a lot. You know, myself. You know, good thing. And it's still very fresh in my memory. You know, good thing. Despite everything.
Well, listen, thank you very much, and thank you to Daphne there as well. Daphne, I think Daphne is your kind of manager. Keeps you right.
Thank you. Lovely to meet you.
Yeah, Ross, thanks very much indeed. Thank you.
No bother. Thanks, Andy. Thanks for giving up your time. Mind and go on, folks, and see Andy's website and check out for all these albums, because we want you to catch up on some Andy Chung albums.
Keep in touch, Andy. Keep in touch, and anything you want to post onto the tartan.
Aye.
Feel free.
All the best to you guys. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thanks, man. Thank you. Cheers. Great night again. Great night. What a nice fellow, eh?
He brushed onto something lightly on that when he was speaking there about obviously being recognised for looking Asian, you know, and that was he's from Kirkcaldy, because I remember, and I never brought it up when we were speaking, but I remember when we were all in the Scotsman, and then and the first time that I seen Andy, and he was just singing absolutely perfect. Everything was absolutely the best crack you could get, you know, and he took the humour with it as well, and it's absolutely just shows you that music crack. Music's got no boundaries, nothing like that. There's no fence around music, you know. It's
a wee international language again.
Right.
I've got my binoculars ready, but it's difficult just now because it's dark outside. So seeing the rare spotted thrush is quite difficult.
Yeah.
But I'm watching for it.
I
don't know what it is. There's something going about that's got people very excited.
Uh-huh.
You know, they're just jamming up the roads and.
But there's something that we've not spoke about yet, and I'm not sure if this is appropriate or not. But apparently, folk are voting for us for this, for presenting best presenters. Is that right?
Was it about? Well, I saw something on the web about the for Trad Awards or something like that, for the new shows or something like that.
Yeah, I got a thing today. I didn't know if you'd heard about it. It just happened before it came on. I thought, who did that? But keep doing it.
Well, I'll tell you what, people would be absolutely honoured if you'd stick a wee vote in or recommend us to the Trad Awards. That would be lovely, because we all support each other through. We're all in the same boat. Trad Awards, us, everyone. We're all trying the same aims, really. At the end of the day, we're trying to promote the music and keep it all going. So. Thank you, Mary. Thank you. Glad you. Hi, John. Thanks again. So that's us for another week. Thanks, Ernie. Thank you very much. Ernie's voting.
Good stuff.
All we can wish you is that wherever you are in the world, you're taking care just now, folks. We're having a wee bit of a rough time back here just now again with this thing, but we'll just have to keep going. And hopefully, hi Joe, hopefully you can keep going with us, and we'll get through the winter nights. And remember, if there's any different, thank you, if there's any tunes, songs, anything like that you want to hear, get in touch with us on Tartan Tunes 20 at .co.uk, is it? Yeah, thanks, Gam. 20 at gmail.com. Thanks, Gam. And
Highland dancing next week from me. I'll be back on my Highland dancing theme.
You're going to dance?
I'll dance at the end of the month if you like. I don't think it's
okay.
Good on you, Chrissy. Good on you, White. Brilliant.
I think that'd be a good laugh. Yeah, if we could get you doing a wee bit of dancing, and I could do a wee fling. Jeez. Not sure my floorboards could take it. But
I'm sure.
But anyway, so listen, thanks very much, and thanks for that gift tonight of that tune. That's most fun, and I'm going to go away and try it.
Yeah, give it a go. It's I thought it'd be nice and light and a lot of high A's in it, nice and bright, and you brought a lot of brightness to it. So
thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for the music and
much fun. Jennifer, thank you very much. 51st day. Wow, there we go. That'll be there. Okay, folks. So thanks very much for tonight again. Thanks to our guests. Thanks to Claire, Gullan, and Andy Chung. You've been super, folks. And we've got a couple of cracking guests for you next week as well. And we'll be on through the middle of the week to tell you who they are.
We certainly will. Can't wait.
That'll be superb. So, any other words of wisdom?
I don't have words of wisdom, but just I'm really, really enjoying the show and the feedback that we're getting. Please keep it coming. It's great for us to hear. So.
It's great fun. And we're meeting a lot of lovely, nice people, and just really good. It's great. And folks seem to be enjoying it. And there's always the option just to switch us off. So, you know, if they don't like, there's always the option. What? That red button thing. Okay, folks, thanks very much. You take care out there, and we'll see you next week. It's a good night from me.
And a good night from him. Happy birthday, Peter. Happy birthday, Paul.
Got it wrong again. Cheers. See you later.